Hello and welcome to Urban Farm. This is episode 16 and we're going to jump straight into it. We're going to buy field 17. There we go, all done. It's not a great field, but it's on a slight hill. It's in the right area. So we're going to get that, and there should be, if I remember correctly, a crop of oats in the field already. So I think in the next episode we will, or no, later on in this episode we will actually fertilize that, and then in the next episode we'll have to just do a bit of weeding, I would think. Just put a track in so we can join up our farm area to here. I think I'll leave this as a field, even though it's not the most productive of fields, because of the sort of hill. I think I'll leave it as a field, and we will work out over time what we're going to do with it. Right, so just nip up to the store and go and pick up or lease the soil analyzer, so we can get the soil analyzed and keep our environment score around about the neutral level, or slightly above the neutral level. We're making a little bit of money out of the environmental score at the moment. Right, should only be, I would say maybe 7 or 8 samples to be taken on this field this size. Slightly odd shaped, so it might be 1 or 2 more, because just because of trying to cover all the area. And I do like to try and get into all the corners so that I make sure that the whole field is actually covered. Right, let's get going. Should be first one about here. There we go. There's the first one done. Oh, just about done. We can move on now. Yeah, so this bank is going to be difficult to, it's not impossible to take out and to flatten out, but it'll create quite a big bank on the one side, and we might do that eventually. But I think for expansion of the yard and the working area, it'll be better to go towards the river. So the field that is to the right of us there, as pretty much in front of us over there, I think that's where the next yard expansion and will go. But at least I wanted another field that we could just produce normal crops on. We're going to have to start thinking about producing feed for the pigs. We bought a whole lot of feed for the 6 that we got there, but as we start increasing the numbers and as they start breeding, we certainly want to try and be producing some of the feed ourselves. Is this going to be the last one, or are we going to do another one? I think we might have to do another one. There's just that little area again, you see, right down on the, if you look at the map on the bottom left hand side, there's just that. Can we get it? I'm not sure. I don't think we got it all. We'll see. There's that little bit, and there's a corner there as well. So we'll do another one. That's it. We've pretty much covered everything there. It's going to come out silt and loam, I think. And not clay and loam, mainly clay. So it's not going to be a great field in terms of production. There we go, a little bit of loam and a lot of clay down the center. But still, it's probably not too bad. We'll get a fair amount of yield out of that. Right, now we need to go and get a fertilizer, and we'll use this one. It'll make short work. We'll just lease it as well because we don't need to buy it at this point in time, and we can only just just manage it with this tractor. It's the back weight really. We need to the weight that we have on the front is just, it's only just balancing it out. I can feel it is so light on the front that it was kind of hopping on the way down with the on the way to the field, but we will manage. And of course, with every yard we travel, it gets lighter and easier to manage. We'll have plenty of fertilizer left over, but we'll just put that into the grape and olive greenhouse, so it won't go to waste. That's the kind of nice thing about this. A lot of these inputs are interchangeable, if you want to call it that. So if you've overbought somewhere else, you can probably put it in to another production for most of the stuff. I think the only one that we can't do that with is probably compost at the moment, and that's another thing down the line we will have to be looking at, is producing our own compost, just for interest's sake, because we get a byproduct from the hops plant, from the hops plantation, should I say. Yes, we just unloaded that there, and we'll put that into the greenhouse. Yeah, so I need to look at that most probably in the next 3 or 4 episodes. I have a couple of plans being developed for the next episode with regard to the field across the road. Right, so that field was bought late afternoon in day 1 of April. So we're just starting early morning, day 2 of April now. We're just going to top up the fish tanks. A normal early morning job, and as soon as we've done that, we'll go and load up the fish that are in the storage there, and we'll get those up to the market. And then of course we'll have to get into our routines. We'll have to go and do all the deliveries. Oh, there's plenty of fish in here today. So it looks like a lot more than it is, because there's only 160 litres in each basket, so there's a lot of baskets. And I've found it much easier to load them by hand. It's still not the easiest job in the world, but it's very tight getting them out of the container. But I like it. I like this mod. I like this fish mod. Gives us a decent amount of fish. Get that up to the fish stall. I did get a query from one of our subscribers, Dell, I think it was, asking about the sale points that I have in the markets there. And the farm stalls come from Omatana's production mod. It's been out for quite a while. He did this really fantastic mod with a whole lot of small-scale productions. If you haven't tried it out. It's really, really good. Well, I enjoy it, and there's a lot in it. It's a fairly big download. I think it's about 40 odd megabytes, but it's probably worth it if you if you're doing stuff on a fairly small scale. Lots and lots of options. Have a look at it if you can. Right, so let's go and, while I was waffling on there, I just delivered the rest of the corn excess into the silo, and now, so they're biomaterial. That's what I was talking about earlier on. You can get these hop pellets down to the brewery, Urban Ale Brewery, and there's been good demand for it already. It's starting to bring in a good amount of income. Let's see what we get. Yeah, we can't complain about that, can we? I knew investing in the booze was a good thing. Right, so time to start putting in some storage sheds for the. So I've been struggling to sell all the strawberries in the markets because they've the owners of the stalls have kind of bought up quite a fair stockpile, and the orders just weren't coming in this week or this month. So I've decided to put up a cold room, a nice big cold room, and we can then store the strawberries, tomatoes and lettuce in there until the demand is up, and basically until the guys in the market need it. So that, right, let's just get this. So it's got a lovely big. You get two options for this. You get one with a smaller storeroom in and a bit of extra storage space around it, but I've gone for the big cool room in this shed, and you'll see why in a little while. I'm not going to let it out the bag yet, but you'll see why I wanted the big storage area, the cool storage or cold storage area, because I've developed my own little fresh produce system. So you do get sheds that kind of work out inverted. They become inverted so that they make one nice big shed, which we'll see a little bit later in this episode. Right, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to box up the strawberries, get them into the cooler trailer, and then once we've got all these loaded up, I'll show you what I'm going to do. It's probably a pricey way of doing it, but it does save on carting pallets down 2 by 2 and stacking them up in the cool room when we've got a lot of pallet work to do because of the nature of our operation. So, right, is this the last one? I think so. Nothing more. It's just, yeah, that's it. It's another good reason for keeping this small tractor as well. So here we go. This is the inside of the storeroom. Just reverse this. got the door open already. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse the trailers, and I'm going to put the trailers in the cool room. And that means that we don't have to keep... We could just, of course, stock up the trailers and just leave them on the on the farm electricity. But this way, you know, we've only got one cool room. We'll supply the electricity to that slightly cheaper, because we can run it at different times of the day. Whereas on the cool trailers, we'd have to keep them running all the time. Of course, we need to keep the, as you saw there, I had to open up the back doors, otherwise it would be pointless. You've got to let the cool air be able to get into the trailer as well. And that's it. So now we need to go and buy some more cool trailers, because we've got to put one for tomatoes. So that first one was strawberries. This one will be for tomatoes, and we'll make it a different color. We'll make it red. And we'll put a license plate on it saying tomato. I didn't know whether people would get... I was going to leave it as tomato just as a joke, but I thought, well, I might get some sort of message saying you've spelled tomato wrong. So I decided to change it. So it'll be tomato 1. Or tomato. Right, nice red colour. And we'll go and load tomatoes into this. Let's get it hitched up. So this system gives our little electric tractor a whole new lease of life as well. Daily job to do. So every morning we'll just go and fetch our trailers, fill them up. Once they're full, then we'll have to sell them. We'll have to find a place, even if it's at a bad price. But hopefully, I mean, it can take 20,000 litres, so hopefully with somewhere along the line before we get to 20,000 litres we'll have a decent price for the fresh produce. Of course, the stalls might need, they might be selling, and you know, they might want stock, and then we'll have to supply them at market prices at that whatever particular time is. You know, you've got to supply if people want it, but hopefully when the demand is there, the price will be right. So it means in the morning I'll have to be get into the habit of checking prices. Get this one in there now. You could fit quite a few of these in there, I think. You have to just be careful so that you know that you can get them out quite easily. But yeah, so that negates the loading, unloading, and the biggest advantage is the time saved in getting the product into the cool room. Of course, it's costing us 13 grand for each of the trailers, but so it might be false economies, but hey, I like it. Get the door open. Right, isn't it? Oh, there we go. And then now we go, head up and go and get one for the lettuce. So you could quite easily get 6 in there. Got to give a bit of space to maneuver around. But you could get another trailer each if the prices aren't right, or if there's no demand. After that we'd have to rethink it. But yeah, we'll always find places to sell if we have to. What shall we make it? Shall we make it orange or yellow? Yellow, I think. Yeah. Right, and we'll make this lettuce. So the one that is just got the generic number plate on is strawberries. It's also the standard brown colour. There we go. Right, so let's get this down to the farm and go and load the lettuce up and get it into the cool room. Yeah, so that's the new fresh produce storage system. It's just a nice little trip between the stall and the farm. Just like to show it every now and again. Just a little drive through the town. So I'm starting to hear the odd little rumbling in the market or in the town about my abode, about my Winnebago or whatever. I was expecting people to start getting a bit fed up with it being there. I haven't had any official complaints yet, but I'm going to have to start thinking about finding a place to stay. Right, so there we go. Got those trailers in there. Every morning we'll come get our trailer out, go and fill it up, put it back in the cold storage. Of course, we shouldn't lose too much temperature in the product there, because we'll close the doors as we leave, and we'll connect it up to the trailer refrigerator, so no problem at all. Right, so we were having a problem with the plant greenhouse in that I was struggling to get water into it because I think it was too close to the apple tree. So what I've done is I've uprooted the apple tree and we've moved it to the top corner. Cost us a little bit of money, cost us about 700 euros to do the job, to get it uprooted and replanted, but at least I don't have a problem filling up the plant greenhouse, although the trigger is very finicky for water, and for the others as well. They're very, very tight. As I mentioned in the last episode, I'm not too sure about whether this is profitable or not. So when it comes to refilling the product, I'm going to fill everything up to the brim, work out what it costs, and then as soon as we've run out of one product, at least one input, we will see how much we've sold. So we'll keep a note of the sales from the plant greenhouse and see if it's making money. If it's making money, we'll keep it. If it's breaking even, we will most probably still keep it, simply because we need to supply the plants in the market, and I would rather be supplying the flower seller in the market than let some competition in to come and sell things that we can produce. If we're not making money, then we'll let somebody else supply it, and they can hopefully do a better job than we can at making profit out of plants. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, well, I struggle with this. I'm struggling with finding my my trigger points. I'm not sure why, but I mean, it's not too bad. It's maybe 13 or 14,000 euros from that, so it's probably not as bad as I thought it was. Maybe it was just because I had the wrong combination of production, plant production. Right. So as I said, you get the inverted part of this shed system. So it looks like one shed. So I'm going to put general purpose storage shed in here, product storage shed, so we can, to start with, put the cotton in there. So the cotton bales don't produce as quickly, so I have no problem with running those up and down. Just collect these two now. So we've already got 12. We're going to have to start thinking about the clothing factory that I was talking about. Got to work out where I'm going to put it as well. Yeah, so we can just run these down. Be a little bit of a job to, this time round, but next time round it shouldn't be too much of a problem, because it only supplies about two bales every month, so I do have a little bit of a plan going to be able to, in my mind, to establish a bit of a sort of petting type zoo across the road from here. It's just a thought. I haven't really thought it through completely yet. And of course, if we can have a few sheep in there, that could produce wool, which can go into the clothing factory as well. And we could possibly have a few cows or something along those lines, just to make a bit of a farm attraction for the people in the town and the surrounding areas. Might be able to even put in one of our own farm shops in there. I know we'll be competing against La Jardine, but business is business, as they say. Right, so this is the last load, and this little young Heinrich is a bit of a beast, really. 4 bales, 4 tons. And the problem is I couldn't see where I was going. Straight into the door. Brand new shed, and I drive into the door. Nice. That's what we like. Yeah, so we're going to... Yeah, we can store lots of stuff in here. We could even store equipment in here as well. The main thing is that we have the capacity available to us for storage now. Well, I think that's where we're going to end this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode. Cheerio.